I'm host Eric, and I know it's a little early to get the rager going. You know, obviously we should start slow, but I am hosting a rager tonight here at Talking with Famous People, which is to say this party is gonna go off. All right, we've got an open bar. Just as long as you have an open bar, you have it as well. Um, we've got uh, LCD sound system is playing in my house for this party, and they will be playing at some point during the party. Daft Punk is playing in my house, so it's a pretty good deal to get in here. Yeah, that's right. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the floor. She hit the floor. And Shawty got low, 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 low. It's important to remember that. That's how Shorty got. Or as some people like to pronounce it, shoddy. Not like a SHODDY, but SHAWTY. Shoddy. So, I was peacefully watching a little bit of college football when I realized, oh shit, I better get going because the rage is about to start. We got 6 kegs just for a nice party here, just for you guys to drink because I don't even drink. We got both male and female strippers. We've got a care package for each of the guests. It includes a teener of meth, 2 tabs of acid. That is how Shoddy got. The game, the USC game, it was good in the first half, and then we let Colorado come back, but we still won the game. But we should have whooped Colorado's ass. Regardless. Um, and then the game I was watching before I started this was actually I was kind of flipping back and forth between the Duke Notre Dame game and the Ole Miss LSU game. I can't help it. I'm still a fan of Lane Kiffin. Once briefly the USC head coach, and now the Ole Miss head coach. I like Lane Kiffin. I don't know why exactly, but I wish him well, and I'm rooting for Ole Miss to beat LSU. I don't like, in contrast, Brian Kelly, who's the LSU coach, former Notre Dame coach. So, anyway, there's not really any super great game on right now. The Ole Miss LSU game has a potentially pretty great game, but I started to get a feeling like LSU was gonna start pulling away. Since I'm rooting for Ole Miss, I don't particularly want to watch that. I was rooting for Duke over Notre Dame, of course. Although I should really, yes, actually, Monty Kiffin's son is exactly right. Winston's mom. Uh, Monty Kiffin, famous defensive coordinator. I guess worked mostly in the pros, but his son Lane Kiffin followed in his footsteps, father's footsteps in the coaching profession, but was an offensive coordinator, was a defensive coordinator, and got a lot of grief for a while for failing upwards. So he was he had an NFL head coaching job at 31 for the Raiders. He lasted like 2 years, got fired. He got the SC head coaching job after Pete Carroll left after the bullshit NCAA investigation, which had just incredibly draconian penalties against USC for nothing. Um, was Monty Kiffin able to get on your friend? Or was your friend like, no, no, Monty, come on? Anyway, I'm also a fan of Sarkisian, who's he the head coach of right now? Is it Texas? Steve Sarkisian. Yeah, he's head coach of Texas right now. A couple of former SC coaches. But, I really cannot could not be any happier with the current USC head coach, Lincoln Riley, because, we've got the reigning Heisman Trophy winner who threw 6 touchdown passes today. Tiny with giant footballs under her dress. Your friend was not interested in Monty Kiffin. Her name was Ingrid. She was adorable and gorgeous. Can you be both adorable and gorgeous? Or if you're adorable, is that something that's exclusive of gorgeous? Whereas if you're gorgeous, it's something exclusive of adorable? I think it might be, Gorgeous implies elegant lady, whereas adorable implies, an adorable, cute, coquettish chick or whatever. A coquette, you might say. Okay, so why are we in the kitchen, you might well ask, and I don't blame you for asking that. It's an important question, and I've got the answer for you, and it's coming up right now. We are in the kitchen because it's a very wet and chilly Saturday evening here in Mariposa. It was raining earlier. It's not currently raining, but it's still very gray and wet outside. What's the thing one should do on such a day as this? That's right. A little something called cooking in the crock pot. I just need to find the lid to it. Where's all odd? Maybe I put it down here or something. Well, is it in the dishwasher? Yes. Well, I just have to wash it off a little bit since that's a dirty dishes in the dishwasher. So yeah, we're gonna cook a little crock pot here. I've got all the necessary ingredients for a delicious crock pot. In fact, I would say I have all the necessary ingredients for 2 delicious crock pots. Instead of getting 1 big pot roast, I got 2 small pot roasts. Now my initial thought was, I'll just cook both these small pot roasts at once. But now I'm thinking, Eric, why don't you just make kind of like a half-size pot roast, put one of the roasts in, fewer potatoes than a whole bag, like half a bag of potatoes, half a bag of carrots. And then you can make it again on another day. And potentially Rachel and I could finish eating it relatively quickly. On the other hand, since it takes such a long time to cook, maybe I should do both of them at once. It's kind of a tough decision, actually. I think I'll do both of them at once because then I don't have to have my amounts of things. I'm set up to do, like, I know how to cook it when it's got that amount of meat, So I'm just going to do them both at once. Because as you see, these are very small roasts. So now I'm going to teach you once again how to make pot roast. Take careful notes and make sure you don't miss any steps or you could ruin your pot roast. So, for example, let's say you're going to make pot roast, but you forget to take it out of this black plastic thing. That's enough of a mistake to ruin your pot roast right there. Now see, this, Winston's mom, is an adorable little pot roast. It's not gorgeous, it's adorable. Likewise, this one. Hey, Rachel. Are you a wakeful Winona? Alright, so there we have, as you see, 2 pot roasts. I guess there is one person who can accomplish being both gorgeous and adorable. But that's not your friend Ingrid, Winston's mom. It's Rachel. Obvs. 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 Alright, so now this isn't dirty at all. I just put this right there. I need to get some other ingredients. For example, a can of meow plus a can of meow. These 2 cans will provide a necessary base of liquid that's not alcohol, namely broth, and it's not water, namely broth, that'll help provide a nice, thick and juicy pot roast. So after you put your 2 small pot roasts in, and you'll notice I just left the string on the pot roasts. You can just take that off later. You'll notice I made a mistake with my second can of broth. Instead of punching 2 holes in it, I punched 1 hole in it. But you may have noticed it takes well more than twice as long to pour out, even though it has half as many holes. This second hole functions as a carb. Okay, now, is our pot roast done? No, not yet. Don't be silly. So we're going to add the rest of this bottle of, this is the one with the cork stuck in it. See if I can get it out or push it all the way in, either way. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. God damn it. It's been too long since I opened wine, I guess. That smells very porky. That's about to turn. It's good enough for cooking, though. You know, I wouldn't drink it at this point. Not that I would drink it even if it were fine, but, you know, you get my point. God, you're so wild. Now it smells like fucking pork in here. And it's just regular red wine, but because it's so old, it smells like pork. And I hate the smell of pork. Pork's horrible.
Is the best beat that you ever heard for rapping.
Okay, next step of cooking pot roast. So that's what you're going to want to do is get some potatoes. Let me let the cat out too first. Okay, here we go. Now, put those potatoes like that. We're not going to use all of these carrots because that would be too carroty. Nobody wants a pot roast that's mostly carrots. So we're just going to put yeah amount of carrots in here. Like that. That's plenty of carrots. It's a good amount of carrots. We can even put a couple more carrots in there. The next question we have is, do we really want to cut an onion? It sounds like kind of a hassle. Well, I want you to know the following thing. It is kind of a hassle, but it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. You're gonna want to have that onion in there. Just bite the bullet and do the legwork. Cut the onion. Win the prize, marry the girl, right off into the sunset, and of course, live happily ever after. So, now that we've gotten all that down, let's clean a bit of counter here to, what do the cats walk through? There's these dirty cat prints here that are also sticky. Like, what could you possibly have walked through, silly kitty? Alright. Get that nice and clean. Then paper towel. All spick and span and spiffy. Good for food service. And then we're going to turn out the water and cut the onion. So what you want to do first when you cut an onion, cut the ends off of it, because they're not good. Then you want to make a side cut like here, not too deep. And you want to peel off your outermost layer of onion. As per meow. Next, you want to throw away all of that stuff. Next, you're going to get your knife. I don't know where all of our knives are. The big knives, we just have these steak knives I can find at the moment. Alright, cut it into 4 big pieces like that. And then, you cut it into smaller pieces like this. Being careful not to cut your finger at any point. You don't want to cut your finger. You only want to cut onions. And as you see, with just a little bit of effort, know-how, perseverance, stick-to-itiveness, and other such qualities, you too can complete the chopping of an onion in fairly short order. So we just carry these onions over to here. Piggity pyaw. Pyogity pew. All right. Starting to come together. Starting to look like a real pot roast now. But we are still missing a couple of things. Foremost, important, package of ranch dressing. You're going to want to put that in there as per, yeah. Okay. Now, next we want to get some of these. This is garlic powder. You can just meow that in like meow. That way you don't have to bother with the chopping up of garlic or whatever. These are dried onions. I'm just gonna put some of those in there. Because you know, they have a little bit more oniony flavor than fresh onions, I think. Alright, now that we've got those things in there. Well, I guess we're done, Eric. I guess that's all there is to it. No, that's not all there is to it, Jordan Peterson. Oh, yeah. You know, that's really something. That's really something. Okay, Jordan Peterson. You know, when lobsters make pot roast, Jordan Peterson, shut up. Lobsters don't even make pot roast. Okay, now it's time for us to go to the liquor cabinet. Because you might have thought, now it's ready to start. Go ahead and start it, Eric. No, it's not. You're lying. Get over yourself. I put the ranch in.
Oh, you did? Sorry.
Yeah. No problem. Go ahead and keep it if you want to. All right, now what I'm going to get here is a beer and some rum. Yes, beer and some rum. So for the beer, let's go for one of these Guinnesses. And for the rum, let's go for the rum. These additional liquids will both allow it to have more liquid in it, which means you can cook it on high for the entire duration. I'm gonna have to go put it on low because it's not gonna burn or whatever. But also, it will provide the delicious flavor of cooked alcohol, even more than just the wine, which was, like I said, a little porty. So we want to cut the portiness of it with just about a yay amount of spiced rum. And one of these things. Where is the miggity? What did I do with the miggity? Oh, it's right here. Just gonna pour that ever so gently on top. And you'll notice that what it's gonna do, one of the things it's gonna do, is it's going to wash down some of that powder and garlic powder and other seasoning that I put on there. Now, I don't like to add much salt to my pot roasts before I begin cooking them. I figure we can just add salt afterwards. It could get too salty. But I am going to add just a light sprinkle of salt. And then the last ingredient, pepper. A little pepper in there. And not too much. You know, we already have ranch dressing. We've got various other seasonings in there, so you don't want to over season it. Now, the next thing to do is to figure out where you put the lid. And it turns out you put it right over there. Putting this lid on the top of it, as per meal. We next turn our attention to the knob on the front. It's going to say off, low, high, and warm. You want to turn it to high. Rum goes back in the liquor cabinet. That bottle of wine was, they wanted to be a real pain in the ass Paula today. First I spilled it trying to get it open, and I tried to throw the cork away, and it bounced off this bottle in the trash and off onto the floor. So, that's the double whammy of bullshit. Sometimes known as bullshit squared. Okay. Now that we have all of our cooking done. Now, granted, that's not what I'm eating tonight, what we're eating tonight. So I am going to have to make myself an actual food here relatively soon, like perhaps a chicken parmesan. But that will solve our eating needs for tomorrow. And according to the weather forecast, tomorrow will be near a record low. When wine goes back, it gets uncooperative. When wine goes bad. Well, yeah, right. Makes sense. That wine was turning from a good citizen to a criminal. So it spilled itself on the floor and then refused to have its cork thrown away. It was just this close to antisocial psychopath. I got rid of it just in the nick of time. Tiff, you want to go with me? Of course I'm going with you. Why don't why you're on camera? Hello, everybody. So Tiffany, I guess getting a black arm has really Made you a little bit more woke, you know, a little bit more aware of important social issues. Would you say that's true? Well, sure. I finally understand that one group. Black Arms Matter. They totally do. Just the arms, Tiffany? Let me put on the old glasses. You like a chicken parm too? Okay, I'll put in two of them after I smoke a cigarette. I don't have Roblox. I also wouldn't say I have Puddle Glum, although I really do like that name. Did you know that Funyuns are not real onion slices? I didn't. I didn't know that. I assumed Funyuns were real onion slices cooked in real onions with real onion breading. Yeah, it is feeding my numbers as vertical. Yeah. I've noticed an increase in both subs and views. But the thing about the subs is probably yeah, declaration of intent. Right. Exactly what that was. Oh, this barky dog across the street is barking again. Cutting boards, Dulles, are for prissy safety mongers. Okay, I believe in cutting straight on the counter. It's like somebody brings me a square of wood, I'm just gonna be like, "Fuck you! Get that wood away from me! I don't need no stinking cutting board." Fair witness rules dictate that I report the side of the barn I can see is red. Don't say the barn's red. Say the side of the barn I can see is red, and I can see precisely one side of the barn. Dawes points out that Tiffany's been cyborged. Just what has a cyborged? This arm, I was walking down the street, and there was this guy with these beautiful black arms. The rest of him was too big. I said, I need one of those arms. I found it. And now his arm belonged to me. I chopped off his hand and put on a robot hand. Now I can interface with things like R2D2 does. Just boop, 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 boop. Can you turn off the main deflector shields, Tiffany? Well, of course I can. I will just put this into the thing. There. One of the important jobs of anybody, I guess, in any futuristic warfare setting is, of course, what one does with the deflector shields. The year of the rat. Well, I took her out in the snow one day, and I was just moving her arm around like normal. But perhaps because she was sitting in the snow and was very cold, perhaps her plastic got brittle. And, well, that's all the story. So, I was outside, and it was very cold. And there was all this white foam everywhere. Like someone had taken a big can of shaving cream. I was just putting in the white stuff. And then this horrible man tried to move my arm and I broke it off. I said, hey, get out of here, yo. Yo, stink. I took him months to replace it with a new arm. I was only after I found this arm and brought it and said, stick it in my armhole. Good. That's thanks, Tiffany. That clears things up a lot. Anyone who's ever drank from their hose while playing outside is obviously immune from countertop cutting bacterial invasion. I mean, the thing is, first I cleaned the countertop, and then the thing I cut, the onions, are going in to the crock pot where they will cook for 12 hours or something. So I'm not worried about that dumb stuff. That countertop, I can't cut into it. It's like hard, you know. Look, I think we can all agree cutting boards are for pussies. Bacteria. Bacteria. Isn't that the name of that yogurt that Jamie Lee Curtis advertises? Bacteria? Something like that. Okay, it's time to start a couple chicken parms so that we can eat some food. Neither Rachel nor I has done a great job of eating a lot of food today.
No, we haven't.
So,
I was just gonna put the stuff in the microwave.
oh, that's okay, I'll do it.
Set it for 10 minutes instead of whatever.
All right, yeah, cool. Time cut. 1, 0, 0, 0. Start. Stormy HD says he needs a shoe on that big old juicy head. Well, Stormy HD, what about my needs? Is that about that?
Oh, Capio,
I'm not sure I really care what you need. But, I care what I need. If you really want me to do something, why don't you super chat me $100?
Oh, yes.
Hmm? What are you, chicken? Hi, kitty. You're a good kitty. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
The specialness is constantly astonishing me. shoe. Well, I don't have a lot of shoes. I have flip flops. I have these beautiful Japanese shoes. It's called tatami slippers. Forgot the name momentarily. Although I will say they're already looking quite worn. I've worn them continually since we got them. Rachel got them for me, and they're really good. They're really comfortable. If you're a fellow flip flop wearer and you'd like to flip from flip flops to a preferable flip flop esque solution, I'd recommend tatami slippers. Now, note, when you purchase them, there is no left or right foot. However, once you've walked in them for a while, there becomes a left and right foot. So, you know, try to stay consistent which foot you put each one on, or else you might run afoul of what's known as tatami slipper collapse syndrome, in which neither shoe is properly pushed down for either foot. And your whole tatami slipper experience collapses into just meh. That's why it's called tatami slipper collapse syndrome. Are you pulling cards?
I can.
Sure. Pull a few, why don't you? Why not pull a few?
Oh man, these are all messed up.
Those are all messed up?
Yeah, cause.
All right, well, let me come back to you. We'll come back to reporter Rachel on the scene when she cleans up her mess there. She had her papers all in a binder in like a folder, and we were about to cut to her from the news, and then she dropped them and they spilled all over the ground. So now we have to wait for her to clean that up. So what we'll do right now, while we're waiting for that, we're gonna cut to Mike with a local weather report. Mike Daniels is outside, ready to report on the weather. So let's cut to him now. Mike, have we got you there? Are you there, Mike? Mike? Yeah, Steve. Hi, this is Mike Daniels of Mariposa Community Television. And I'm here to report on the weather today. As you see, it is late afternoon and the weather is dry, but revelatory of rains recently passed. The air is humid and cold, and it smells nicely of wet forest. Travelers be advised, however, should you come out this way, you may find it incredibly beautiful. Back to you, Steve. Thanks, Mike. Well, here on TWFP News, I'm anchor Steve Severs. And let's go back to the main headlines. So our top story tonight, Eric needs to smoke. Local resident Eric has emerged from his home, cigarette in hand, lighter at the ready, apparently about to initiate the smoking process. Let's get to reporter Gina Kwantowski with an interview on the scene. Gina? Yes, thanks, Mike. Thanks, Steve. I'm here with local resident Eric, who is smoking currently. Now, Eric, can you tell me what made you decide to come out here and smoke a cigarette? Well, sure. Was it Jeanne? No, it's Gina. Oh, Gina, right. Well, Gina, I was inside a second ago. Uh-huh. And, we have some time to kill for the frozen dinners are done. I see. Go on. And I thought, you know, I thought I spotted a local reporter outside. I thought I had spotted a local reporter outside doing a weather report. Now I now know it was Mike Daniels. Oh, Mike, yeah, he's a colleague from the station. Anyhow, I stepped outside to see what was going on. I saw the news van, the news chopper, the news supersonic jet. You guys have a lot of vehicles. We sure do. And I just stepped outside to see what was going on. And that's when I realized, hey, I got my cigarettes with me. I got a lighter. I might as well go ahead and sure, you might as well go ahead and light one right up, right? That's right. That's right, Gina. Is it Gina? Yes, it is Gina. Is not Jan? No, not Jan. Okay. Well, anyway, Gina. So I'm about I don't know a quarter of the way through the cigarette at this point. Yeah, we can see that. That's good progress you're making. And I'm just kind of. It really makes the fresh air taste and smell more fresh when it's mixed with tobacco smoke. And let me just go touch base back with the studio for a second. And Steve, let me just tell you and the viewing audience, I am in full agreement. The combination of his cigarette smoke and this wonderful mountain air is absolutely delightful. Well, that's part of the reason why I do it, Jan. It's Gina. Yeah, part of the reason. Only one part of the reason. What's another reason? Well, sometimes I just feel like standing outside. Wow. That's just that simple. I just whim. Just totally off the cuff. Yeah, pretty spontaneous stuff. But, predictable as well because I do this multiple times a day. Is this the only place you smoke? No, obviously not, Jan. It's Gina. Obviously, I smoke other places too. Maybe think about your questions a little bit before you just charge right ahead with them willy-nilly. If you be the interviewee, you could kindly let me do my job. What is your job exactly? To interview people. Okay, well, I guess you are doing your job then. You are interviewing. I know, and I'm doing a great job of it. I don't know, Jan. I've been I was interviewed one time by Mike Daniels, and I think he did a better job. My name is Gina, and he was probably just interviewing you about the weather. That's easy. If it's so easy, let me see you do it, Jan. It's Gina, and I will. How's the weather right now? It's fine. See, you're not even cooperating. You're just purposely being difficult to interview. Okay, well, you make a fair point, Jan. Aren't you going to say it's Gina? No, at this point, I can tell you're doing it on purpose. And scene. I call that Mariposa Local News with Gina, Steve, Mike, and Eric. Well, I mean, it's not technically with Eric. He just happened to get interviewed in this particular episode of Mariposa Local News. He's not part of the news crew. Mariposa traffic report, huh? Oh, yeah, this is This is Sanjay Sarkaninian, and I'm here with the traffic report from Mariposa County. We have a remarkable and continuing outbreak of cone putters who are putting cones in various places for various reasons. So be prepared for the requisite number of sign holders that accompany the cone putters. And if you don't have to go to town to buy food or something, just stay at your house. It's not even worth it. Driving all the way into town with all these cone putters. Well, thanks, Sanjay. Quick question. Yes? You don't look Indian. Actually, I'm not. My birth name was Darren Richardson. But from what I understood, a lot of TV stations were looking to hire, for diversity. I see. And did that work out for you? Yes, it did. What got me the job here at Mariposa Community News. I'm pretty sure it didn't get you that job, Sanjay. Really? Yeah. All of our positions are volunteer, and there were no other applicants for the traffic role. Oh. We thought about not hiring you anyway because you clearly don't look like a Sanjay. Would it help if I told you I was transgendered? Are you transgendered? No. Then no. If I had been transgendered, would it have helped? Still no. What if I were a woman? You already got the job, Sanjay. Would I have gotten a better job if I were a woman? No, you would have gotten the same job, Sanjay. The same job you're about to lose. Okay. Well, that was all very exciting. All of that was a good way to kill a few minutes while we cooked some Italian food. And as you see, it was an unqualified success. In every way, shape, and form, have we successfully killed those 10 minutes and accomplished the cooking of food. However, we have a significant problem that I can and will immediately remedy. Namely, neither Rachel nor I is equipped with a drink.
No, and I haven't taken any bong rips or anything.
I am so sorry to hear that, my darling. Cunningham is also very sorry to hear that.
Cunningham!
Hi, I'm Cunningham. I'm a cat.
You're not a baby though, right?
No, I'm not a baby. I'm a full-grown cat.
Oh, so you're not even a baby cat.
No, my name is Cunningham. And obviously, I'm a pretty fancy cat. I'm a purebred cat, and I have papers to prove it.
Are you a Scottish fold because your ears are down?
I am a Scottish fold. That's very excellent observation on your part. But I'm not an ordinary Scottish fold. I'm a royal Scottish fold.
A royal Scottish fold. You know who has a couple of Scottish folds, Cunningham?
Who's that?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is a crass American disgrace. Okay? People don't have Scottish folds. We're not objects. Nobody should celebrate Taylor Swift for engaging in cat slavery. You got a good point there, Cunningham. Also, who's that incredibly dumb girl who's around here? You mean Tiffany? Yes. Do you know that she calls me cuts cut me some ham? She calls you cut me some ham? Yes, my name's Cunningham, not cut me some ham. Well, she interprets things a little different. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you back on your slide over there. What do you say? Yes, thank you. I like to sit on top of my slide. I don't blame you. It's a beautiful slide. Hi, Trouble. Don't bother Cunningham, okay? I don't want to have to clean up Cunningham's corpse from the bathroom floor.
My gosh, that would be so not nice.
It's fine. He's protected by his slide. So, what I'm going to do is find a mouse, which I find right here. I'm going to scroll up. Slowly, slowly, carefully, slowly, carefully. And I'm going to scroll up to here. Or I can't see. Yes, I want to view that. Well, I did not see what the comment by
Oh no.
that one person.
What are you doing? Why don't you leave your sister alone?
Yeah. Why don't you stop bothering her? Instead of continuing to bother her.
You can sit behind me if you want to, Capio. I understand.
Jail chore. I don't know what jail chore said. Can't
It
see it.
called me a whale and,
Oh, that stuff.
you know.
I mean, I assumed it was something awful, but I just didn't know what it was. So, I was a little curious, but
I was too, I looked.
the thing is,
What are you doing now? Oh, God.
I don't know why I would even bother being curious. That person is, like I said before, is a very dumb troll. They only got like 3 ideas. So they just repeat them.
Oh, Dolls was like a Mayor posted a traffic report regarding the computers.
No, I did one already.
Oh man, I'm so behind today.
Yeah, I already did it.
Me?
I did. It was by Sanjay, and he got into a bit of an argument with Steve, the anchor. He was apparently convinced that his plot to get the job by pretending to be an Indian person had worked. But, Steve informed him that there weren't any other applicants and that it was a volunteer position, so it really didn't matter.
It really doesn't.
I think we're making progress with the half wet in the sense that they only called once and bothered to try to shit in the live stream once.
Yeah, that is progress.
That's progress. He wanted to come do a whole bunch of stuff again, but then he realized he couldn't think of any more ideas of things to say. Well, you was baking steakums. What have you missed? Not a whole hell of a lot. Mrs. Ron. Very little, in fact. I mean, yeah, there was first Sasquatch, then Godzilla, but besides that, nothing. Oh, and the Loch Ness Monster. But other than that, there was nothing happened while you were gone. Just a lot of paranormality. So, I could look at the analytics to see, but returning to a topic that I briefly was broaching earlier, I believe it's probably the shorts that are responsible for the additional subs and not the vertical streams. Although I think the additional views on vertical streams are the consequence of being vertical instead of horizontal. But I've noticed in the past that shorts seem to add me subs while no other video kinds do. Granted, if we were making the kind of content here that people wanted to see more, then that might be a way to gain subs. Or if we were at least had a clear mission and stuck to it, right? But it's such a chaotic mix of everything that it's hard to get subs. It's understandable why somebody might not want a sub too, because it's like, well, I like your shorts, but you do all this other shit, and I don't even know what's going on here.
I'm talking to Acacia right now, and she and Ruben would like to have a Google Meet tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, huh? Okay. What time? I'll put it on the calendar. Plus, building social media channels and linking to your YT channel when you're live. Yeah, I don't have Twitter, Instagram, or things like that, you know. I don't want to hassle with all that. It just sounds like making something that's a fun and important part of my life into an annoying hassle. Although, I don't doubt that there's some kind of an app where you set up those accounts on those other things. You put something up on YouTube and it automatically posts on those other things for you. Feed the algo. I mean, the thing is, the algorithm is designed to direct videos that people will like to the people that will like them. It's an algorithm that is serving the viewers, not the creators, as it should be, right? Because any other approach is going to make it fail. The reason why YouTube is so appealing to creators is because it has so many viewers. The reason it has so many viewers is because it doesn't care about the creators,
No.
which is fine. It's like the point is it has a vested continual interest in trying to point people who will like my videos to my videos because that'll make their YouTube experience good, right? The fact that I don't get that many viewers, subs, whatever, it's attributable to a lot of things potentially, but I would say it's most attributable to the fact that one, I don't make thumbnails. Like having a good thumbnail that really pops is pretty critical to you want. I don't know what muitos in streetos means. Um, but mostly it's just because not very many people want to watch my videos. They don't want to. Not very many people find this live stream to be what they're looking for in a live stream, and not many people find my kind of TI heavy explanations or disinterested analysis of politics, for example. Nobody finds that interesting enough to watch it. It had like 51 views and didn't got stuck there like right away, 51, and that was it. So the thing is, if I wanted this channel to be very successful, I'd have to focus on being one thing. But the thing this channel is not one thing. It's Eric's spew bucket. Eric's spew bucket. That's what I should have titled his channel. Well, I mean, I think in general, Winston's mom, people who are interested in vertical feed are going to skew younger than horizontal because the younger you are, the more you're exclusively phone, you know, and not computer. Well, there might I don't doubt that there are more people than the current number of subs who might be interested in the channel, might like it a lot. Like somebody new came around recently because I saw today. I went to comments. They had left like comments on 10 different videos or something.
That's new.
That happens periodically, or somebody new comes around and like gets into our content at least briefly. Goes through a bunch of different shit, gets curious about it. That always pleases me when that happens. Because you're only a bong rip to me.
Only.
Yeah. I need more than just one.
Oh, that's true. Me too.
Only one bong rip is not going to do it.
I find you adorable.
Thanks, darling. Nope, we're not smoking crack. Yeah, weed, right? Marijuana is sometimes known. Cannabis
Yeah, cannabis.
can be referred to as cannabis.
Oh, I feel like I have to poop.
You should do so. I'm currently treating my cannabis addiction with cannabis. I find it's the best way to treat it. Yeah, we're in California, knows how to party. Yeah, drinking non alcoholic beer. Smoking actual weed, but drinking fake beer. You're in South Carolina? Well, Wesley Abrams, maybe you live near my wife's mom. My wife's mom also lives in South Carolina. In the fine South Carolinian town of Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach. Myrtle was the lady who founded the beach originally. And she built a couple of houses by hand and rented out two of them, living in a third. And she opened a general store. And that was the start of Myrtle Beach. Shortly thereafter, people started moving around, the core three people. And before you knew it, you had a whole big town of people there. And they all said, let's live here forever. And the rest is history. That's the story of how Myrtle founded Myrtle Beach. So you're 45 minutes away from Dirty Myrtle. Is that what they call it in South Carolina? They call it the Mertz or Murby. It's I call it a portmanteau of Myrtle and Beach, you know. Murby. If I were a South Carolinian, I'd refer to Myrtle Beach as Murby. Nobody's heard or seen nor heard from C.J. O'Connell, but he's had long absences before too. Remember, so it may be that he just YouTube wasn't for him or something, you know. What other places are in South Carolina? Well, I can't really think of other cities in South Carolina, but I do know that South Carolina has the Gamecocks. Unlike, I guess, domesticated cocks, gamecocks are wild, like game fowl, such as the pheasant. So, go Gamecocks. Did the Gamecocks win today or did they lose today? I think they lost. I'm a big college football fan, of course. You might say, well, why aren't you watching right now, Eric? Well, I started watching Duke Notre Dame. Notre Dame started getting ahead. And now I want Duke to stay undefeated. Now, I get it, South Carolinians, Duke's in North Carolina. I'm not trying to say that we should just pretend like both Carolinas are the same. It's just incidental that Duke happened to be the first football team I talked about after South Carolina. And then the other game I was watching was LSU Ole Miss. Ole Miss. And obviously I'm rooting for Ole Miss. And LSU, they had a decent lead early on. Ole Miss is winning. 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 on the Mississippi 33. Let me see the end of this game here real quick. I gotta see if LSU pulls off the miracle comeback or something. Otherwise, I'm gonna be super happy because I much rather see Ole Miss beat LSU and Lane Kiffin beat Brian Kelly than the other way around. Brian Kelly is totally a Ryan Smelly. Face mask? That was not a face mask. I didn't even see what penalty they called, but I'm assuming it was a face mask or a horse collar because of the way he was pulled down to the ground. Let's see. Did you just call a face mask? What'd you call? Personal foul, horse collar. It was a horse collar. Yeah, see, I didn't even, like I said, that's not a face mask, but it was a horse collar. Womp, 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 womp. That's not allowed? That should be allowed. Seems to me. Seems to me that should be allowed. Horse collar tackle. You're just grabbing him by the collar and pulling him to the ground. It's not like there's any horse involved in it at all. Where's the horse, Why don't they just call it a collar tackle? Oh, shit. LSU is on the Ole Miss 16-yard line, and their Ole Miss is only up by 6 points. If LSU scores, then if they make the extra point, they win the game. Pretty dramatic stuff. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's 1st and 15. Fourth quarter, 12 seconds left in the game. Ole Miss up by 6. LSU driving 21 yards out from the Ole Miss into the end zone. Oh, good defense. Good defense. No flag, no flag, no flag. Okay, now there is 5 seconds left. 5 small seconds left. The LSU offense is on the Ole Miss 21, driving towards the end zone. They have 21 yards to go. They have 2 timeouts left, but they're more or less irrelevant at this point. Ooh, good defense, but you should have picked that off, really, number 11. But still, fantastic defense getting in between the receiver and the ball and knocking it away. Now, LSU's called a timeout, and so they have 1 left. Still only 5 seconds left, though, fourth quarter. Down and distance don't matter with 5 seconds left. In theory, they could get a quick out of bounds for short yardage and get 1 more playoff. But if I'm Brian Kelly, and I am Brian Kelly, I am telling my quarterback, you do not throw this any shorter than 2 yards short of the end zone. Maybe our guy can get 2 yards into the end zone, but do not throw any shorter than that. This is the last play of the game, is what I'm telling my players, if I'm Brian Kelly. And again, I am Brian Kelly. Another false start for the LSU offense. Now they're from the 26-yard line. Doesn't really make a huge lot of difference here because, you have a little bit more room to operate from the 26 and from the 21. It's a little bit less of a compressed field. But everybody on the Ole Miss team knows they're going to have to either hit the receiver in stride somewhere around the 5-yard line or throw it into the end zone. So it's not like they're only rushing 2. Ole Miss only rushing 2. Timeout Ole Miss. I thought it was another false start. No, it's a timeout. Ole Miss timeout. That's their final timeout. There still is 5 seconds left. So as you can see, the last 10 seconds of the game takes a lot longer take a lot longer than 10 seconds. Considerably longer. When we started watching the last 10 seconds of this game, it was way more than 10 seconds ago. And there's still 5 seconds left. There's been timeouts, false starts. One play has been run that was knocked away by the defense. And no, 2 plays have been run. One resulting in a penalty, and one, I guess it must have been a little before 10 seconds that one resulting in a penalty was. Okay, well, it's time now. It's time for the last play of the game, probably. LSU takes the snap, drops back in the shotgun. He's under pressure from the Ole Miss defensive end. He throws it into the end zone. It is incomplete. Ole Miss has won the game. The game is over. The Ole Miss fans are charging the field. The person who just was on one of the DBs is dancing in a celebratory fashion. Pandemonium.
I mean, 13 against 20. See, that's a big win.
I mean, Ole Miss is a very good team. Their one loss, I think, was to Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. This is triggering bad memories. Well, Ole Miss has won the game. I'm happy for Lane Kiffin. I'm happy for the Ole Miss football team. Ole Miss is kind of a second-class citizen in the SEC usually, but they got Lane Kiffin to be their coach, and their team is doing quite well this year. Now they have 4 wins and 1 loss, and one of their wins is against 13th ranked LSU, who is still ranked after losing to Notre Dame. No, who did they lose to? They beat Notre Dame, right? LSU now has 2 losses. They are 3-2. So I guess they were 3-1 and they were ranked 13. LSU is looking very sad, very unhappy. Brian Kelly, no doubt, having a rough evening of it. The throw was into the end zone. Number 17 looked like he was open momentarily, but the DB made contact with the receiver at the exact time the ball got there, and the receiver could not catch it. But it was a catchable ball. I would go so far as to almost call it a drop. I mean, it hit him right in the hands.
Yeah, it did.
I'm kind of surprised that the Ole Miss defense let that happen. The LSU quarterback found his guy in the end zone after scrambling around the last play of that game, hit him in the hands with the ball, but the DB hit the receiver at the same time the ball got there, kind of knocked the receiver away from the ball, but he still should have got it, I think. He should have caught it. Ole Miss got lucky. Well, must have been a fantastic game all the way through with that kind of a score. So, good job, SEC football, coming through again with some fantastic games. Although you could look at the score and say, oh, that USC Colorado game must have been good. It was not a good game. SC blew them out in the first half, and then in the second half, it was, well, I'm glad Colorado looked good on offense. It fixes the perception problem caused by last week's blowout at the hands of Oregon. After last week, when Colorado lost by a bunch of points to Oregon, I thought, okay, Colorado may just have gotten fully exposed and may be in for a real rough go of it during this difficult stretch of the season where they've got to play USC, Oregon, right? But a star was born today in wide receiver DeMario Miller, I think his name is. Colorado receiver, true freshman, who played his first snaps of the game today. On his first snap he'd ever played in college, he caught a 60-yard pass one-handed after fighting through pass interference.
Wow.
Yeah, and then like on his, he made multiple more catches the rest of the game. Then he opened up the other receiver because, well, the problem Colorado had last week in Oregon, in part, was they had one healthy receiver that was a high quality talent level. They had Dion didn't think his true freshmen were ready to start, but this week, you know, he needed to make something happen. So that kid had a hell of a game for his first game ever. Really quite a talent, amazing receiver. He was supposedly only a 4-star recruit instead of a 5-star. 4-star is very good, but occasionally you'll hear them mention a 5-star recruit. Those are very rare. Like Bear, whatever his name is on the USC defensive line, he's a 5-star recruit. But he didn't. We didn't. USC didn't recruit him. He's a transfer from Georgia. Big addition to our defense, I must say. So let's see. Now that we're done watching that game, let's see what else is going on in the world of college football so that we can note if there's any other fourth quarter dramatics that we need to check out. I don't see anything currently going on. I will note the following. I will probably stop streaming in time to watch the Fresno State game at 7:30.
Oh, that's exciting.
I tell you what, let's check out a little bit of this Notre Dame Duke game. Notre Dame's only up by 13 points, and Duke's got the ball in the Notre Dame 13. So let's see if they can make this an interesting game, put the ball away, and put the ball in the end zone, and make it a one-score game.
Don't forget we have to call Delilah.
Oh, right. It's Delilah's birthday. I said Delilah. Can you call her on my phone?
On my phone?
On your phone?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I recommend listening to Carter Conlon from Times Square Church. Well, thank you for the recommendation, William Quiles. Has Olivia been throwing touch?
Hello.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hi, Delilah. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you having a happy birthday?
Yeah, mostly. I went out to brunch/lunch with Jessica. That was nice. And then the only thing is that there was a chance Zuko could come home today. He can't, but I might be able to visit him later. And so I'm not doing anything else the rest of the day in preparation of that possibility, basically. But I'm just playing World of Warcraft and chilling, and I am, not doing bad or anything. Having a nice time on World of Warcraft.
Have you made it to level 2 yet?
Yes, many times.
What level is your character?
70.
70, is that as high as it goes?
Yes, that's the max right now. I only have 3 characters that are max level, but that's the highest right now.
Is one of them clearly superior to the other ones that are all the same level?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it has better gear.
Yes, precisely. It sounds like you just like it sounds like you're reading like a WoW Wikipedia article.
No, I learned from watching anime, which reference those kind of games a lot, especially isekai,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's how it is for sure. It's like two of my level 70s have good gear. They're not they don't have like a huge disparity in skill, but one is clearly above the other one, and the other one is
I've been like reading about different kind of like soul contract pairings, and what I mean by that is like soulmates, karmics, false twin flames, and I got really into the subject of twin flames, soulmates, karmics, blah 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 when I was with Harris, who was the dude who has BPD. Um, I learned about twin flames through that relationship because it was like pretty intense. Um, like there was a lot of like so-called meaty uh mirroring. There was a lot of mirroring that happened between us. We would call each other like while we were thinking of each other. There was a lot of like eye contact stuff. Like we knew each other from high school and then started dating in 2018. Um, but like he didn't have the best reputation, so I like wasn't really interested in him. But so while we were together, I thought, oh, the intense it's so intense between us. It's definitely not a soulmate. It's got to be a um twin flame relationship, but it was absolutely a false twin flame relationship. After the fact, I started a little bit during the relationship, and then after, um, I she's 25. I can't believe she's 25. But yeah, so like cuz they say that like twin flames don't get like they're like not abusive towards each other. And Harris having, BPD, like he was verbally abusive, and so verbally abusive that I thought that if I continued the relationship, it would end up in physical violence at some point. Um, her rising sign, I believe, is in Aries. I don't know what her moon sign is. It might be Aries too. I don't know. I know that her rising is in Aries and she likes it. I watch a little bit of anime. I don't watch as much anime as Eric does, paper mar- maker, aka God. Um, I can only take like I like animes. They're like the ones that Eric shows me that I like, I definitely watch, but I am not really into reading, like too much reading on the television. Like sometimes I just want to play on my phone. And when there's all captions, you have to pay attention to the whole thing. So I don't really have like a high tolerance for anime when it comes to paying, like having my focus all on it. But there are some animes that I do watch with Eric. Well, I'm glad that I'm the first one to say your full name, Papermaker, aka God. Yeah, Aries and Libra are opposite too. I forget what her moon sign is. I wish I remember. I could look up like easy enough. I don't know what time she was born. Um, but I think it's like it's not an earth sign or a water sign, I believe. It might be another fire. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, well, I will let you get back to your game. I love you very much. Happy birthday. What are you, 25?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is pretty crazy. You're 25 years old.
I know.
I've been your father for all 25 of those years.
Yeah, you have. That's good. Isn't it crazy that in 2 years I will be the age that you were when you gave birth to me?
I think I was 28, though.
I thought no, you were 27 because you're 52 right now, right? Or are you 53?
I'm 52, but I'll turn 53 before you turn 26. So,
You're confusing me.
okay.
No, because if I turn 25 today and you're currently 52, that means you're 27 years apart.
Yeah, okay, you win. Again. That's twice in one conversation. Well, it is your birthday, but these are not gifts. I'm just
No,
obviously
just-
doing a bad job of making points tonight.
It's a birthday magic.
All right, I love you. Good luck in your warcrafting. I hope you find the best sword ever.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
I just sold one for 7,000, so that's good.
That's
That
good.
is good. Enjoy.
Love you.
Thanks.
I
I
love
love
you.
you too. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
25 years old. I feel pretty accomplished as a parent. My child successfully has lived 25 years. Pretty good, right? You know, that's 25 years of possibly horrible premature endings that we avoided successfully. And she's not even in Europe, so we don't need to worry about having to call Liam Neeson.
Oh my god.
You know, who's getting increasingly bad at recovering people who are taken.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You were the first today to say my name in full, says Papermaker, aka God. Is Papermaker also known as God? That's surprising. I don't even know who Papermaker is. Oh, it's you. Well, then who's God? Is that also you? Well, I guess that's within God's power. It's within God's power to become Papermaker. And then to revert to being God. Can't be both simultaneously, unless they're two different names for the same thing, because, of course, that would be logically impossible. And even God cannot do that which is logically impossible. It's unfair to ask him to do that. Because logic, of course, is a function of language. And language can't subsume God.
Still ask if we've watched Jobless Reincarnation.
Oh, the answer is yes. Yes, and we absolutely loved it. It was just stunningly good. I doubt anything this season on Crunchyroll is going to be that good because that's one of the best cartoons I've ever seen. And the way it managed the audience was as skillful as Johnny at a Johnny show. It set up lots of different expectations, then subverted them in really interesting and effective ways. It was
Yeah,
incredibly
honestly,
real.
yeah. Like honestly, first watching it, like when they would have him as like a chubby, I don't know,
Otaku.
40, yeah, otaku, being a little pervy. I was like, oh man, like I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to like really enjoy this. But then the character building and the story arcs were just, oh my god, so real.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, even early on, even when he was being the pervy, reincarnated guy whose identity was primarily his identity prior to being reincarnated, he was still displaying a moral compass that his father in his reincarnated world didn't have. He kept calling his dad a scumbag for his womanizing ways, and then basically the character becomes more and more the person he's reborn as, Rudius, and the the previous life becomes less and less a factor after he has his first love um, torn away from him because he's forced to go to boarding school. He starts he kind of like has a big crush on this other girl, and after traveling together for years, she finally sleeps with him, and then she just disappears. He wakes up the next morning, she's gone. Like the note saying, you know, sorry, I don't think this is gonna work or something like that. After traveling with her for years,
Oh
blah,
my
blah, blah.
god, it's so like humanly relatable. Like I haven't had like a moment like that, but I've definitely had something like, like something like that.
Well, and then
Oh,
so then he goes. He's really depressed and feels just like empty. The only thing he can do is go kind of search for his family that was separated from him in this mass teleportation. And he still has this childhood love that was stolen away from him. And the beginning of season two, we see that she has been teleported to royal court in some other place, and she's now working as a guard for the princess over there. So um, he gradually begins to cheer up until one day there's this girl who likes him a lot and she wants to sleep with him, and he tries to sleep with her but he can't get it up, and then he spends most of the rest of the season pursuing a cure for his impotence. But where he goes to pursue it is this college where, guess who else is attending it? um, the princess that his childhood love Sophie is guarding. And then the rest of the season, but she has these big glasses on, so he doesn't recognize her. And he starts falling in love with her, and then he thinks he's gay because Sophie's dressed as a boy, and then after just torturing me with it's like you want them to get together so badly, and finally she falls against him and he realizes that she's a girl, not a dude, but he still doesn't figure out who she is exactly. And then she engineers this meeting, and they're in a cave, and she got herself all wet like on purpose so that and claimed like she was too cold to take off her own clothes, but she needed to get them off or she was going to get hypothermia.
gosh.
So he takes off her clothes, and then they're gonna kiss or something, and then he's like, "Oh, hooray! This is gonna work out fine." And then he he can't get it up again, and you're just like, "Oh, just kick me right in the nuts, why don't you, cartoon?"
Yeah.
And what happened at the very end, though? I don't even remember what happened after that episode. he did eventually hit it, right? Yeah, they went back and then she went into his room and they got drunk and is that what
Mm,
happened?
I don't even know if they got drunk. I think they just did it. But the thing was that the next morning he wakes up, she's not there.
Oh right, and he thinks it's happened to him again.
Yeah, and then he's not sure what happens, but then he sees like blood on the sheets, so we know as the audience, like, oh, they did it. And then 2 minutes after that, like, she comes back and she's like, oh, I just went to do some things and now I'm back and you're awake. And then they like go to see like the princess.
Oh yeah, he says thank you for making this happen or something.
Something, yeah. Like it's very, I can't remember exactly. So
Anyway, it had a happy ending, you know.
it was such a.
No, he said he's gonna marry her, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're gonna get married. So it's like it's a nice complete storyline, complete arc. Um, Let there be stationery. Paper maker. God of paper. Yeah, well, humans cut trees, make paper, and write "Save the trees" on it. Exactly. Like this time I saw this ridiculous product at the store with a T-shirt that says "Consume less" on it. At the supermarket. I should buy this product that says "Consume less" on
Oh my god.
it.
What was the ENFP that we saw in Hawaii? What did his shirt say again?
Vegan AF.
Oh yeah, that's what it reminds me. Like I
Yeah.
could see that guy like wear the same shirt, consume less.
Right. Well, like, you know, Gary was his tattoo on him, consume as little as possible. Meanwhile, he's um, being flown all around the world to participate in these naked and afraid things. His carbon footprint is massive, and that doesn't count as consumption to him, though, you see.
That's funny.
He's not eating something. I guess.
I guess.
Who knows what his definition of consumption is? Consume as little as possible. You mean eat as little as possible? Or do you mean purchase as few things as possible?
No.
I mean, you could have consumed less tattoo ink by not getting that tattoo. So are you really consuming as little as possible, Gary?
Oh, Gary.
Oh, Gary. But I like Gary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any problem with Gary.
Me neither.
What about the feelings? Do they get to you also? They're always already here. That sounds complicated and wet.
Sounded wise to me. Yeah, it's fake beer.
This one is too. Klaus original non-alcoholic beer. It's quite tasty.
It is quite tasty. Yeah, I want to smoke more weed, but
You want to use the bong?
so like, yeah, maybe.
Let me change the water for you.
Thanks.
And maybe even put a little bit of ice into it.
Ooh, interesting.
also get a less harsh weed. The one we got out right now is pretty harsh.
Okay.
I guess if there's going to be a third season of Jobless Reincarnation, we'll pursue the storyline of the man god, you know,
Yeah.
and what's going on with that super badass guy who they walked. They had to be very still. I don't even know if you watched that episode. Anyway, we'll see what happens. All right, so currently in the Duke Notre Dame game, just to keep you guys updated. Now I'm behind the actual live broadcast, but in my viewing of it, in our viewing of it, currently Notre Dame is up by 6 points, and Duke has the ball. The third quarter, 2 minutes approximately left in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from Duke's own 40. They pick up about 3 yards on run to the short side of the field. A little counterplay. Didn't really catch Notre Dame off guard as they'd hoped. When you counter to the short side or the weak side, you're hoping that they're going to think, oh, they're not going to run over here. There's less room, fewer blockers, and then you're misdirecting with the counter. Well, didn't fool Notre Dame. This quarterback run option got about a yard. Bringing up 3rd and 6 for the Blue Devils from their own half of the field. Obviously, their defense has hung in there against Notre Dame thus far, as they're only down by 6 points. And it's hard to position this as some kind of critical third down. But it would be nice to see Duke continue to build on the momentum they developed in that earlier touchdown. Instead, it's an incomplete pass here on 3rd down. He looks for his wideout number 2, Higgins, but Higgins was kind of sandwiched between 2 DBs, much to his discomfort, apparently, because he's a little slow getting up. And the Blue Devils are going to have to punt the ball. So, the Notre Dame return man's back deep at about the 10-yard line. And, of course, the Blue Devils punting from their own 45 or so are going to be looking to get inside the 20-yard line, close to the goal line. Not a great punt. Notre Dame will take over from their own 18 after we do this Aflac trivia question. In their respective common draft areas, NBA, NFL, which program has had more first-round draft picks? Duke's men's basketball program or Notre Dame football? We're talking about draft eras starting in 1966 and 1967, respectively, for the NBA and NFL. And the answer is Duke with 52 over Notre Dame with 45. So there's your Aflac trivia question and answer provided by me, your host Eric. You're getting to enjoy a little bit of host Eric's professional style football commentary as Notre Dame takes over, hands the ball off inside, and running back number 7 finds no room whatsoever as he loses a yard. The Duke Blue Devil defensive front apparently getting the better of the Notre Dame offensive line on that occasion. A late flag comes in, after the whistle. It looks to be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct. It is. It's against Duke. Shame, shame, shame on the player responsible for that unnecessary roughness penalty, number 23. And I can see why they called it. He just pointlessly threw Notre Dame's player number 13 to the ground well after the play was over, incurring the penalty and costing his team 15 yards plus affording Notre Dame a fresh set of downs. Quarterback number 10, Sam Hartman, I believe his name is, drops back from the shotgun, drops it off to the tight end, number 88, who breaks a couple of tackles and tacks on an extra 8 yards after the catch, after first contact was made, before the Blue Devils are able to wrap him up and bring him to the ground. That brings us to the end of the third quarter, but I've got some good news, friends. I've got some saved up fast forward time, so we're going to jump right ahead to the fourth quarter without any delay in the action. So, Notre Dame is driving. It is currently 14:45 left in the fourth quarter. And 2nd and 6, Notre Dame having picked up 4 yards on first down. Mike Mitchell Evans Jr. was the receiver on that particular first play. Now, Notre Dame hands it off in the middle again to number 7, who once again gets stopped after a short gain. Looks to be 2 yards, 2.5 perhaps. He managed to kind of squirrel out of that initial tackle. But interesting to note that Notre Dame's offensive line does seem to be struggling inside against the Duke front four. Duke's lined up in this particular instance in what appears to be a 4-3, they're blitzing from one of the linebackers. Notre Dame gets the ball off, Sam Hartman does, but the pass falls incomplete. There's a flag on the play again because everybody loves throwing flags. The Duke coach is furious. It must be on the Duke player. Is it pass interference? I thought it could have been pass interference, but the ball appeared to be uncatchable. Let's see what they rule. 4th down, no flag on the play. They picked up the flag, not pass interference after all, and I think that's the right decision. Now it's 4th down. Notre Dame is in that kind of gray area spot on the field. Do you go for it? Do you punt it? But given that it is 4th and 3, I would assume they're going to go for it. Nope, they are punting, in fact. Even though they're on Duke's side of the field, it's 4th and 3. I guess it makes sense. It's not as though the Notre Dame offense has been able to do much heretofore against the Duke defense. I believe Notre Dame was up 13-0 at half, and accordingly has not scored any points in the second half while giving up 7. It does make sense, therefore, that they might want to punt rather than take a chance with their offense on 4th and 3, especially since, as I've indicated, the Duke front four on defense seems to be winning that inside battle. So let's see what happens now that Duke gets the ball after the touchback on the punt on their own 20-yard line. 1st and 10, down by 6. They hand off on 1st down, pick up a good 4 yards on it. Not a bad run at all. That ball, though, it was a touchback. It looked like it was going to go right out of the half-inch line, but then it turned a little bit at the last second and went through the end zone. And I said it went right over the top of the pylon, touchback. So good job by replay, All right, 2nd and 5. Here goes. No, it's an incomplete pass. There went the Blue Devils. straight into a 3rd and 5 just after they got the ball back. Duke can ill afford to go 3 and out here. Well, perhaps they can well afford to do so because heretofore, as mentioned, their defense has held them just fine against Notre Dame. So I think we can just scratch Sam Hartman off of the Heisman Trophy candidate list. He was an early overreach, as Notre Dame quarterbacks consistently are. Duke on 3rd and 5 connects with number 8 across a slant across the middle of the field. He breaks a tackle or two. He's got himself a good 20 yards or so on that particular reception across the 50-yard line and into Notre Dame territory. Makes a couple of shifty moves, but quarterback showed good patience there and waiting for the slant route to fully develop and for his receiver to get open and downfield a bit. You might even call it a post route, I guess. Okay, now it's 1st and 10. Duke takes the snap. Number 13, the quarterback is running. It's a designed quarterback run. And he's got the first down and more. Wow. Another 25-yard pickup or so, gashed off by the mighty Duke Blue Devils, who are undefeated going into this game, playing at home against 4-1 Notre Dame, who lost at the last second last week to somebody good. I forget who they lost to last week. But currently, at this point in the 4th quarter, with 11 minutes left, the Duke Blue Devils are actually outgaining Notre Dame on offense by 10 yards. Both teams have under 300 yards. They try basically the same play again with the quarterback, Duke does, with much less dramatically positive results, as they are going to have to make do with a gain of 2 yards. Now, that's going to bring up 2nd down at about 8. And maybe just 1 yard they got, I guess. 2nd and 9. Quarterback Riley Leonard is the one who picked up that yard and who picked up a lot more than that on the previous play. It appears that somebody has called the timeout. Let's see who it is. Oh, it's a review. So it's an official's timeout. They're reviewing something. Oh, it's a booth initiated review for targeting. It looks like they're number 1. Looks like number 1 on Notre Dame's defense is the one who's being checked for targeting, as he comes in very late. But I don't think that's targeting. I don't think so. I mean, he barely even successfully made contact with him. He tried to target kind of, but didn't. He missed. So how's that targeting? Now you might say, look, targeting is not the same thing as hitting. So you can target somebody without successfully making contact with them. But I don't think that's how the rule reads here for targeting. Perhaps it's a poor name for the penalty here. So, it might not be number 1. I see. They're not talking about number 1 who missed. They're talking about there were 3 different Notre Dame players who took a stab at that ball carrier who was the quarterback. The first one was an acceptable hit. The second one was targeting. The third one was a miss. So number 12, in fact, was found guilty of targeting, ejected from the game, and that's also half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down, which should put the Duke Blue Devils about the 9 yard line, 8 yard line or so, first and goal. Let's see where they have them. Yeah, they got them at the 8 yard line. So, first and goal from the 8 for the Duke offense, and hand the ball off on first down. Number 7 keeps his feet, bulldozes, carries multiple Notre Dame players. It looked like he was stopped after no gain, maybe a half a yard, but instead he broke that tackle, the first tackle, kept his balance, used his hand to keep himself stable, and then bulldozed all the way to the 1 yard line. Quite a run, let me tell you. Quite a run by Jordan Waters. He did a fine job that time, Jordan Waters. So it is now second and goal from about the 1 yard line. And Duke takes a snap in the shotgun, hands off again to Waters. Waters this time is stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 2 to 3 yards. This should be third and goal from the 4. The Duke fans are shown up close now, looking tense, looking wholly bought into this game, wondering what's going to happen. I'm rooting for my team. I'm from Duke. I'm in the stands. You can picture it all. Number 13's in the shotgun. He's waving his hands around, telling people to move over here, move over there. He's about to take the snap. Third and goal from the 4 yard line. He does take the snap, fakes the handoff, and delivers the pass for the touchdown to number 8 as the play action pass pays off for the Duke Blue Devils. And friends, that's the reward you get when you establish the run as successfully as the Duke offense did that drive. Beautiful drive by Duke, and good job taking the lead. Well, they will if they make this extra point. Currently, it's 13 to 13. The extra point's about to be kicked by the Duke kicker. The Notre Dame coach is looking uncomfortable, as even though Duke was undefeated, I think a lot of people saw Notre Dame winning this game handily. Some perhaps overestimation of Notre Dame, but I really think it's mostly an underestimation of Duke. Because I don't remember exactly who it was that Notre Dame lost to in the last week, but it was a very good team. And they fought him tooth and nail the whole game. So now there is still 9 minutes left in this game. It is too early for Duke to celebrate, for sure. As Notre Dame is going to get the ball right now. And Sam Hartman at this point in the game, no doubt feels as though he's got something to prove. They put up 14 points on Duke in the first half, or 13, and haven't done anything since. Kind of looking like USC in the second half did today. On the kickoff, Notre Dame returns it to about the 29 yard line, and they will take over there. The Notre Dame offense will. They will look to find some sort of an answer for that Duke front 4 on defense that has more or less prevented Notre Dame from having any kind of meaningful running game whatsoever. And a team that cannot run the ball inside has got to resort to tricks. So let's see if Duke can continue just rushing 4 and successfully stopping the run. Now, in this case, Notre Dame tries to take it off tackle to the right and gets about 4 yards, 3 yards. Oh, Ohio State. That's who they lost to in the last week. That was a pretty brutal loss for Notre Dame to swallow, I think. But that, to me, in my mind, does not explain what's happening here. And the reason is stuff like just happened right here. It was second down. Notre Dame hands the ball off again. Sure, maybe the Notre Dame play calling is a little predictable. But what's of note is that the Duke front four were in the backfield blowing that thing up before it even had a chance. It was a slow developing run play, run out of the shotgun. I'm not sure Notre Dame should be running out of the shotgun when they're facing an effective defensive front like this. Third down, Notre Dame's throwing the ball. It is incomplete, an attempted pass to the tight end on a little slant and down into the middle of the field. First, the quarterback got hit when he was throwing, and then the receiver got hit when he was attempting to catch it. The ball was behind him. He didn't really have any good chance of catching it. And that's going to bring up a quick fourth down for the Notre Dame offense, who are going to need to either punt the ball or take a wildly irresponsible chance at going for it on 4th and 5 from your own 40, 35-yard line. No, of course they're not going to do that. They're going to punt the ball. And they do. They punt to the awaiting receiver from the Duke football team, number 3, it looked like, who fair caught the ball. And that will usher in the Duke offense back onto the field. Up by a point now, for the first time leading in the game. Eric has caught up with the TV and can no longer fast forward. So, there's that. But I want you to know that this is the very best football commentating of this game that you can get, except by watching the television program itself. So, maybe the only commentating you can get, except by watching the football itself or listening to the radio. So you're probably not supposed to do this. But, I like football commentating.
You're good at it.
Thanks, Rachel. I'd like to think I'm pretty good
You
at it, too.
are.
It's like they should hire me to do the radio
They
broadcast.
should.
And I wouldn't even need any color commentator. Okay, let's see what's going on now. Well, they're just showing a replay of the previous touchdown, which was very well drawn up and very well executed. Now, Duke's got the ball again. They're on offense. Number 13 hands off to reliable number 7, their running back. And he picks up a couple on first down. It's not as though the Duke offensive line is doing a spectacular job opening holes. The Notre Dame defensive line appears to be largely winning that battle as well. But in the last couple of possessions, Duke has scored twice, so the Notre Dame defense may be getting tired. On 2nd and 7, number 13 takes the snap from the shotgun, hands off to number 7 again, who breaks tackles again and gets the first down and more. So in this instance, what we're seeing is it's the second level that's tiring for Notre Dame. The linemen did a fine job. Basically, it was kind of a wash at the line between the offensive and defensive lines. But the linebackers missed their tackles, failed to bring them down, and with sufficient alacrity. Now it's 1st and 10 for Duke from their own 45. They are handing off again. Nope, it's a fake handoff as the quarterback keeps the ball, attempts to run, picks up a yard or two, and probably regrets his choice.
It looked like he did.
Yeah. 2nd and 9. Rachel, you're a good color commentator.
Thank you.
2nd and 9 for Duke. Riley Leonard, the quarterback, chatting with his teammates before falling back into the shotgun formation again with 7 seconds left on the play clock. The ball is snapped with 3 seconds left. Again, they run the ball. This time the quarterback again runs the ball.
Yes.
And again, they get more than they should have out of it.
Yeah.
As he evades a couple of arm tackles from Notre Dame linebackers and makes it almost to the first down line. Oh, wait, no. His knee must have gone down before. His knee. Wait, how's it 3rd and 5 then? Well, regardless, it is 3rd and 5. I thought that he had picked up a bit more than that, but I guess optical illusion. From the shotgun comes the snap on 3rd down, drops back 13. Now he scrambles forward and first down, Duke. The clock is on the Blue Devils side as well. It is ticking down from 5 minutes as Duke holds on to a 1-point lead and sustains this drive with a nice quarterback run for a first down by Leonard. This will carry them into Notre Dame territory. I'm going to guess approximately the 43-yard line of Notre Dame. Maybe the 38 of Notre Dame, somewhere around there. It is, in fact, the 37, looks like. So, now, with another handoff, this one's going nowhere. Notre Dame's stacking the box at this point. They cannot believe they keep giving up run after run after run, even though they're playing defensive formations that are selling out to stop the run. They still cannot seem to stop it. But that time they did.
Oh my gosh, I love you.
I love you too, my darling. 2nd and 11. Leonard back in the shotgun again. Takes the snap after the motion by the wideout to change sides of the field. Once again, runs the quarterback draw that Notre Dame cannot seem to figure out he's going to do this still. And picks up a good 6 yards. Bring it 3rd and 4. So we'll see if Notre Dame once again gets fooled by the delayed quarterback draw, in which Leonard drops back to pass, takes a couple steps back, and then waits for his ends to push out his tackles to push out the defensive ends, and then splits up the middle. This time he hands it off on 3rd and 4, and an ill-advised play call in this instance. I know they're trying to eat clock. The clock's down to 2:41. They don't want to stop the clock with an incomplete pass. But I have to say, that's an awfully conservative play call. You kick the 3 points. It does you some good. Puts you up by 4. Take the 3. That's fine. But you'd feel a lot more comfortable if you're a Blue Devil with an 8-point lead than you're going to as a Blue Devil with a 4-point lead. And I think that would apply regardless of the color of devil you were. But in this case, it's blue. So now we're having commercials.
Now we're having commercials.
Commercials are not the best part of a football game, but they're sometimes a necessary part of a football game. Let's see what the people are saying in the chat.
Dulles is going to bed.
Bye, Dallas. Good night.
Good night.
Sleep
Hi,
well.
Pio.
Express This did a piece most recently on INFJs. It was shockingly, or perhaps not so shockingly, insightful and on point. I don't know who Express This is. Express yourself.
Wait, like a vlog about it, or like for
I think it's a channel called Express This. But
Oh
don't know.
yes. You went outside in the rain.
I did not see Auburn versus Georgia, Jeremiah. Excellent question, though. Close game. Georgia escaped. has ever considered announcing for golf?
Why do you know someone?
Well, he says I'm too slow for football or something. Everyone's a critic.
I think you're good. You're good.
Everyone's a critic.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's return to the game and see what happens at the end of the Duke Notre Dame game. Now that I've saved up a few seconds of fast forward time, see if I can get back to the action. Here's that ball by Tyler goes.
Oh yes.
This game will be over soon. They're gonna end this stream after we find out what happens in this game. And I think I'd like to watch some of the Fresno State game before bed.
Me too.
Oh, I never got different weed, huh?
No.
Let me get different weed. Oh. I don't know, that's plugged out. It's already like plenty plugged out. There. Now, different weed. So I brought a few different ones here.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn on this light a little bit. Now, I think the least harsh one might be this one. It's like the most stemmy looking one.
Okay.
So let's try this one first. But if this is still harsh, then we'll go for... I just grind into this, I guess. On top of that, that'll be fun. This, I believe, is the flowery one, but I think the flowery one is not very coffee. So let's try that one out for snize.
Yeah.
So it seems like earlier you had a pretty good poop.
How did you know?
I could hear it.
I did.
I could hear the seismic movements your stomach was making.
Oh, so I was talking about twin flames, soulmates, and karmics, and like you know that we're soulmates because you can hear my poops.
Yeah, I can hear your poops even if you were 100 miles away.
That's how you know.
But I'm tuned into you, Rachel,
Yeah.
and all of your bodily functions. Like today, when I was like, are you still having your vital sports last Friday?
Uh-huh.
I know that I said before you even told me.
Oh my god, you're dead.
Yeah. I didn't have to check your vagina to know. They're going for it on 4th and 6 from Notre Dame's 35? No, they're punting it. They were playing fool ya, wouldn't want to pull ya. Okay, well, Notre Dame gets the ball back on the pooch punt.
Uh-oh.
They're taking over from their inside their own 5-yard line, I think. Definitely inside their own 10. And that's obviously bad field position. But it's worth noting that Duke has foolishly given Notre Dame the ball with 2 minutes and some seconds left.
Yep.
And they only need a field goal to win the game. So I'm concerned, very concerned about Duke here. I'm very concerned that they're going to lose this game, bringing sorrow and sadness onto all of their fans. But we will see. We will see. False start by Notre Dame on the first play of this drive. sets them back just a couple of yards, half the distance because they're inside the 5 already.
Oh yes.
That brings up 1st and 12
Oh, yeah.
as they replay the down, obviously, when it's a false start.
Oh yes.
Notre Dame in the shotgun. Sam Hartman taking the snap in the end zone. Ooh, a risk for a safety there momentarily. Sam Hartman does escape, gets the ball away, but pretty sketchy stuff there for Notre Dame. Pass interference, however, on Duke on the play is called, which is going to be 15 yards and an automatic first down, as that is definitely, well, I would call that defensive holding, not pass interference. He was definitely holding him, but it was before the ball was released. Regardless, they called pass interference, which is 15 yards instead of, I think either of them is 15 maybe. Anyway, Sam Hartman back in the shotgun, this time from his own 15-yard line, takes the snap, drops back under pressure. Oh, completes the pass, but only back to the line of scrimmage. Nearly picked off.
Oh, thank you, Capio Strauss.
Sam Hartman
Thank you, Capio.
has 4 wins as starter when trailing in 4th quarter, says the graphic on the screen. And he is now back in the shotgun again, taking the snap on 2nd and 12. It's a quicker release this time to a well-covered receiver on the sideline. The ball is incomplete and would have been a very difficult play for either the DB or the receiver to make, as it was slung at high speed, a little bit too high and too much out of bounds. Now it's 3rd and 10. Hartman back to take the snap. Does so, drops back. The coverage holds up for a second, but then the tight end, number 88, comes open as the pass rush this time is a bit slow to get to Hartman. And he connects with his big tight end, number 88. It's 1st and 10 from the 35 of Notre Dame. They take the snap. Hartman drops back. Again, the pass rush slow to get to him. And again, with time, number 17 comes open in the middle of the field. Notre Dame is nearly now in field goal range with that completed pass. And Duke's fears are coming realized as the seconds tick off the clock. Notre Dame comes closer and closer to winning this game. It's another pass by Hartman, this time to number 5. He hits number 5 in the chest/hands. Number 5 drops it, and another flag is thrown. It looks to be another pass interference call against Duke. This one's a little bit more questionable than the previous one, which was straightforward enough. It is indeed pass interference on the offense. Okay, well, that is quite a turn of events. They actually called a receiver for the push-off for once. And then, after he successfully pushed off, he drops the ball. He could easily have made the catch. I don't think that should have been called offensive pass interference either exactly, but it was a pretty clear push-off. I actually checked that. It was a good call. All right, now, 1st and 25 from their own side of the field again now. From their own 45, Sam Hartman drops back, takes a snap, surveys the field, drops it off to the running back in the flat, number 7, who picks up a good 5 yards or so. But with a minute left on the clock and time ticking down, it appears that Notre Dame will burn their first timeout. I wouldn't really call it. Oh, it's their second timeout. I'm sorry. I thought they'd already taken it off the timeouts, but they hadn't taken it off yet. It's their second timeout. So they gather around the Notre Dame side of the field while the kicker prepares himself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, perhaps even physically for what could be the game deciding kick. Now, as it stands, thanks to the penalty incurred by Notre Dame on the offensive pass interference, they are no longer within any kind of reasonable field goal range. If, in fact, Notre Dame were to get within field goal range, they need to pick up a good 15 yards or so from where they are now, because that's what they lost on the penalty, and they were pretty much in field goal range before they picked up that penalty. They since have lost an additional 6 yards on first down. So call it 20 yards they need to pick up before they're going to be able to kick that field goal. Notre Dame is currently, actually call it 15 yards. They are on the Duke side of the field, just on the 47 or so. Hartman in the shotgun takes the snap, drops back, looks at the field. He's getting a lot of pressure. His pocket collapses. He heaves it up for his tight end 88, but he was being pushed over as he threw the ball, and the ball falls harmlessly to the turf. It's now 3rd and 16. Downs don't matter much here unless they can, say, fail to pick up the first down, but still get in field goal range, which is possible, but that's a vinyl tube for sure. Oh, the blitz is on. Duke's in the backfield, and they don't pick it off. So they had Sam Hartman flushed as the blitz gets into the backfield, and he rolled out to his left through a very dangerous pass to a well-covered receiver that probably should have been picked off by the Duke DB or perhaps safety. It was a little too low to be picked off. He should have picked it out. But, that's why they're playing on defenses. They're not receivers, is because, they don't necessarily make catches like that. Okay, so it's 4th and 16. This is what appeared to be Notre Dame's last chance at this game. They need to either pick up a first down, touchdown, or something of that sort if they want to have any chance to win the game. And it looks like Hartman is going to and did pick up the first down. Wow, coverage was excellent, but after surveying the field for quite some time, Hartman noted that he had a lot of green in front of him and scurried his way down the right side of the field all the way past the first down marker and well into field goal range. So Notre Dame at this point, the smart money is on them winning this game with 38 seconds left in field goal range, barring a missed kick or a blocked kick. Now, it would be a long enough field goal at this point that you would say it's definitely not a gimme. Notre Dame's trying to pick up a few more and in fact, burst into the end zone for a touchdown. Questionable decision making on Notre Dame's part, because they have left 30 seconds on the clock for Duke to come back and score a game winner. Notre Dame is going to try to go for 2 to push their lead to 7, but 31 seconds with 3 timeouts is kind of a decent amount of opportunity for Duke to come back and win the game potentially, especially if Duke could pick up a good kick return or something like that. Pretty disappointing thing to watch, as I was obviously rooting for Duke, and the Duke fans are just devastated.
Yeah, they are.
You can see how disappointed they are. Like I said, pretty questionable decision to punt the ball to Notre Dame with 2 minutes left. Right now, Notre Dame is still they still have their 2-point conversion they have to attempt, since they don't want to be up by 6, obviously, which they would be were they to just kick an extra point. So if you're going to be up by 6, you might as well be up by 5. So obviously they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. And it doesn't make much difference ultimately whether they get it or not, because if Duke can score a touchdown in 30 seconds, well, that'll be all the win they need, right? So they do successfully convert the 2-point conversion, puts them up by 7, but Duke has a chance with 30 seconds left and 3 timeouts to march down the field and tie the game. They're going to need a bit of a boost from heaven to make this happen, but it's not impossible. Now, the problem Duke has is they are not a passing team. What did they do last possession? They just ran. They're not going to be able to run their way to winning this game. With 30 seconds left, even though they have 3 timeouts, and the 3 timeouts are big because you can run a couple of times with 3 timeouts and you wouldn't be able to run at all without them. But that 30 seconds is a small number of ticks on the clock. You've got, at best, 5 plays. At best. And that's assuming no seconds tick off the clock on the kickoff. I'm assuming Notre Dame, if they're smart, they're going to squib this, which will compel Duke to receive the kick and run, and therefore cost Duke some clock. But no, Notre Dame kicks it deep, and actually, they fair caught it. Yeah, no time ticks off the clock. Duke gets the ball on, I believe, the 25-yard line. I think that's what the rule change is. If you fair catch it inside the 20, you get it on the 25-yard line. It's the same as a touchback. So let's see where they spot the ball and confirm this. Riley Leonard comes out. He's throwing 1 touchdown, 1 interception tonight. And he's starting from his own 25-yard line. In the shotgun, of course, with just 31 seconds left. He takes the snap, drops back, surveys, throws the ball for a little bit of an out. Took 4 seconds, got out of bounds, picked up only about 5 yards. Now, Riley Leonard, unlike his counterpart on the other side of the field, only has 1 win as a starter when trailing in the 4th quarter, as per the graphic appearing on the screen. Now on 2nd down, Riley Leonard takes the snap, steps up in the pocket. Is it a fumble or is it an incomplete pass? It's not entirely clear. It appears to be ruled a fumble on the field, and Notre Dame has recovered. That is the end of the game, unless review rules that it was a forward pass. Riley Leonard is rolling around in agony on the ground, appears to have injured himself in some very painful fashion, but not especially debilitating fashion, in the sense that he's moving around fine. At least his upper half is. His leg seems to be hurt, maybe. I'm not sure what's wrong with him. And is this, in fact, a fumble? Yes. In fact, he bent his leg back or something. Definitely a fumble. Game's over. Duke loses. Notre Dame moves to 5-1. Duke drops to 4-1. Duke will probably, they might still be ranked next week, given how close this game was. They might drop down to 24 or something. So Notre Dame's going to obviously rise a little bit in the poll if anybody ahead of them loses. But, voters aren't going to be especially impressed by the 7-point win over Duke, even though Duke was undefeated and probably was afforded a lot less respect than they ought to have been. Anyhow, Notre Dame walks away with a win, and I believe I may have picked Duke in the college pick'em on ESPN. So too bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
But let's check my college pick'em and see how it's doing. Notre Dame wins. They go to 5-1. Duke drops to 4-1. Washington currently winning. Number 7 Washington, undefeated Pac-12 Washington Huskies, with Michael Penix Jr. as their Heisman candidate quarterback, are defeating the Arizona Wildcats 14-7 currently. So regarding the pick'em, let's take a look. We have here is Host Eric's picks 1. I'm currently 34-15 in my picks. I had Syracuse over Clemson for 1 point. I lost that one. I had Ole Miss upsetting LSU, but I only had it for 2 points, but I got that one. 72% of people picked LSU, but I picked Ole Miss. I picked Florida along with the other Florida bandwagoneers, even though I wanted to pick Kentucky. But I knew, even though Florida was the favorite, that Kentucky was a tough opponent. So even though I picked Florida, I only gave it 3 points. So I lost 3 points there. Then I picked South Florida over Navy, got 4 points for that. I picked Notre Dame over Duke, got 5 points for that. I picked Texas A&M over Arkansas, got 6 points for that. I picked James Madison over South Alabama, got 7 points for that. I picked Memphis over Boise State, got 8 points for that. And I picked TCU over West Virginia. That's worth 9 points. It's tied in the fourth quarter. But then I lost this one for 10 points, the most important one of all. I went with the stats here. It's like, well, 93% of people picked Georgia State. And I'm among the 93% of people. That's the biggest lopsided pickage of any of these things. So I put it at the top, even though I didn't know anything about it. I don't know about Troy or Georgia State. Well, Troy pulled the upset, costing me 10 points. They kicked Georgia State's ass by 21 points, even though Georgia State had gone in to the game with undefeated at 4-0, and Troy had come in with 2 losses already. So, just goes to show you. I did the same thing last week. Like, I had a really good record, but I got the one that I gave 10 points wrong. So that's a good way to have a good record, like 34-15, but only be in the 73rd percentile.
I feel your pain.
Roll one sometimes. Why only bongs? We could roll a joint. Sure. Let's roll a joint. And then I'm going to probably end the stream and watch the Fresno State game. I'm imagining Rachel will probably go to bed relatively soon.
Yeah, I'd like to watch some of the Fresno State game too. But
Okay, cool.
yeah.
I mean, not just everybody's expecting it to be a blowout. Because Nevada is one of the weaker teams in the Mountain West. Fresno State's ranked and undefeated. And most notably, Fresno State destroyed Arizona State. Whereas teams that are a lot more big name than Fresno State had more trouble with Arizona State than they did. I think they shut out Arizona State. We gave up like 21 points to them. It was a fairly close game. USC was, USC not really clicking on all cylinders right now. They're clicking on partial cylinders. Okay. I'm going to roll this. Hand it to you.
Thank you.
Gonna roll another one, hand it to me. We're gonna smoke part of this joint, then I'm gonna say adieu to both of me and the one other person who's here. Because one of the people who's here is me. But the other person who's here is Rachel.
Me.
So yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye to me and Rachel, our two audience members. And then after that we will watch the Fresno State Bulldogs playing against the Nevada Wolfpack. No, I'm not looking at these things anywhere. I know all of these things. I know what Nevada's team name is. It took me a split second to come up with it. The Wolfpack. Basically, you could ask me just about any FBS team. Tell me the school name. I'll tell you what their team was called, you know? Like, well, what's UAB? Okay, well, you got me. I don't know what UAB is. Great job picking one you don't know. Okay. Well, what about UCF? I believe they're the Falcons. Not sure though. All right. What about Duke? That's an easy one. They're the Blue Devils. North Carolina, they're the Tar Heels. Do you know what Wyoming's team is named, Rachel?
Something Mustangs?
Cowboys.
Um,
Do you know what the Texas A&M team is named? They're called the Aggies.
oh, that was my guess. Mm,
How about Texas? You know what they're called?
they have
They
have like the horns.
They're the Longhorns. That's right. The Texas Longhorns. I bet you know this one. What's Syracuse?
The orange.
Correct. Correct. The orange.
Just the orange.
They're not oranges. They're orange. And here's one I don't know what the answer is, but I bet you know the answer. What is St. John's? What's
It's
that?
not the Friars.
No,
No, it's the Red Storm.
The Red Storm. Okay.
I think.
Well, what's Rutgers? The Scarlet Knights. Rutgers are the Scarlet Knights. Tulsa is the Golden Hurricane. Kent State is the Golden Flashes. Hawaii is the Rainbow Warriors. Yeah.
What's the movie that we're gonna make that is gonna outsell Barbie?
Shoots, ladders, and horror.
Oh yeah.
Or as it's properly stated, shoots, ladders, and horror. With its incredibly audience collecting slogan, ladders go to heaven, shoots go to hell.
the game's probably like, wait, Chutes is like supposed to be better than ladders, but not in this game.
Wait, are you supposed to go up or down?
You're supposed to go down when you get.
Oh, you're supposed to go down.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, well, I had forgotten that. Okay. Well, but I mean, the thing is, that's what makes this game. That's what makes this guy evil. Is he turns the whole Chutes and Ladders universe on its head.
Oh my god, I love that.
Instead of Chutes being good and Ladders being bad, now you have to do everything that runs exactly counter to your intuition.
Yeah.
And pursue Ladders and avoid Chutes.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, several people in the movie, several of the dumber fraternity brothers and sorority sisters, die because they just can't get this concept through their head, you know. But hold on, Chutes are good. No, Barry, no, not here. But Chutes are and then he falls to his death.
But Chutes are his final words.
Then, like, a little bit later, the scene with Jenny. Oh my God, I just cannot have what happened to Barry happen to me. What were his last words? What were his last words? Chutes are good. Chutes are good. Okay, all right. Chutes are good. Wait, Chutes are. Ah!
Were you ever in drama class?
Only in middle school. And the drama teacher didn't think much of my acting.
Oh my gosh, you were such a good actor.
I probably wasn't in middle school. I've had a lot of,
Who is in middle school?
I don't know, natural actors.
Okay, so that's very small.
Like, you got to figure Joaquin Phoenix was the best in his junior high drama class.
Yeah.
He was the only one who could cry on command.
That's probably true. I wonder what he's doing right now.
Well, I mean, the thing to note is this. In football or basketball or other sports, people will scout young talent. You know, like, this kid's really, like, standing out above all comers among his fellow seventh graders in basketball. He's going to be scouted by high school coaches, maybe even college coaches. But you know what you don't see are Hollywood talent scouts at middle school drama performances.
Why is that?
I mean, I don't know. I suspect it's because, like, being talented at acting in middle school is not a good indicator as to whether you're going to be a good adult actor.
I guess. So that's what I mean. Like, who's that? Your drama teacher did think that you're a good actor or whatever. But like, what middle school kid is? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I feel like I could have been good at a variety of things that I wasn't very good at in actuality if the person who had been tasked with teaching it to me had done a decent job or it cared.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Like my piano teacher, she may have cared, but she was just pure TE. There was no, it was like, here, let me take all possible joy out of this from you. just because it wasn't the right way to teach me, not because she was a bad teacher, you know. And then, like in PE class, well, I wasn't naturally athletic immediately, but I actually had plenty, I think, of athletic potential. It's just I needed things explained to me
Sure.
rather than watching somebody else do it and learning like that, you know?
I like you just the way you are. I'm glad that you don't because you match mine. Like I'm not like a brilliant actor, and I'm not athletic.
Well, not since you blew your knee out senior year playing tackle football.
I live for those days.
You were a 5-star recruit before then. You were the most highly sought quarterback in the state of Wisconsin.
But then I saw that movie Varsity Blues, and I was like, I don't want your life.
Did he famously say that?
Yeah.
Is that Kurt Vander?
Yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. James Vanderbeek.
James Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. So anyway, thanks for being here. See you later.